Well, with Valentine's coming up, no surprise that the topic is usually how do we know that I'm in the right kind of relationship or that I got certain vibes. So I got to talking to a young gentleman, and you'll hear some excerpts. And I guess what really made him upset was because he's really in love with his girlfriend that, he's been courting for about a year now. And her family makes comments about her physique, her mental state. But what really fuels him is they limit her food, saying she's fat. And on a BMI, I'm not an MD or anything. It doesn't truly matter because she doesn't have medical or biological problems from her weight. Physically, when I look at her, she she doesn't look like she is overweight. She doesn't look like she's underweight either. So I'm not seeing bones or calluses, but I'm not seeing any rolls. So to me, that tells me she's healthy. But he would hear comments in the back. He'd send her food money. He would DoorDash her, which don't get me on the DoorDash thing because that's absolutely like crazy to me how much that costs just in delivery fees. And my dog's getting exercise. See, we always self care. This is how we decide to take a break. Um, but there's runners. Of course, I'm not the only one out in this rain. But he'll mention how irritated he was and upset that they call her fat. And it affects her cognitively. She worries about it. She doesn't want to eat. She's now shied away and has become snacking in silence, hiding food, which actually can counterbalance it. So it would be almost like a self-prophecy where we tell you what we think about you because it's our own self-reflection or our own self-hate that we fear. And that's where I'm getting it is this family's fears that they are going to be perceived as unfit or not a good parent if their child is overweight. And all they're doing is constantly, or they're afraid that they are overweight, or they view themselves as a disgusting feature. Their prejudice comes out, and that's really what it is. Their prejudice against fat people. However, the old myth of fat makes you fat is not true at all. You can go and talk to your doctor. A nutritionist would probably be the better bet. Dietitians are great too, as a good resource to tell you some of that biological effects of what fat makes you fat. But to go back to that is the parents are doing this, and actually what we'll do is it'll create this cognitive distortion in this young lady to where she will actually hide food, and then she would be so bad that she will gorge, and then it would actually come to fruition. That means she will actually become overweight, and it'll be because she's so scared and she's so shameful that if she does eat anything that she is going to gain 50 pounds, or it'll counterbalance and she'll become anorexic and she'll end up dying from starvation. And it's because she's such fear. But my view is she is eating. She just will do it in privacy. She won't do it in front of anybody else. And that's telling me that if she's forced to do it in front of somebody else, she'll starve herself. So we're kind of doing some interventions on that, but you can hear the boyfriend side of this, of how he's coming in and he's not quite happy with this. And he's quite gentlemanly. I've been coaching him on how to court, relate, how to check off boxes, that every time you're dating somebody, you are actually courting them as a potential mate, and the family is going to be checking off. Are you effective? Are you open? Are you being, engaged? Do you provide? And this is just one of the other things. He provides for her every day. He sends her food to make sure that she has at least have one healthy meal, and that's very noble of him. So I'll let you hear what it says, and then we'll finish it up at the end.
Be patient if somebody's asking you and they're trying to get it, and I think you are because you're telling me you are.
I can be patient, but starting off, I'm not. They're like, or maybe I just used to not be patient, but I think I am now.
I like that reflection. I think so.
And there's a lot of things that I'm still not patient about, like little things that don't matter. I get aggravated fast.
Or things that you don't need to be patient for.
Yeah.
Right.
But like things that matter to me, things that like require patience, things that I don't know. You get what I'm saying?
I absolutely do, because remember that conversation we had months and months ago, at the beginning of the year, you know, when you were doing this, and I was like, we're going to need to do couples, you know, because what you are behaving in mannerisms is resembling your family unit. What pieces you want to take with you, you create your own family, and you get to design it all. And I don't know if that seed had been there, and unconsciously you've been working towards this, because that's what you're doing, this whole metamorphosis of changing into the family guy, because that was right before the families were to meet. Her family and your family, that now it's out in the open, you guys together, and it's because they're going to judge you on what kind of father, husband, you know, uncle, whatever is going to be incorporated into our family. What can you bring to the table? And I told you, they're always going to judge you. And that is exactly what they're going to look for. And you have been doing all this self-improvement for yourself, but you also are going to have kids at some point in your future, whether it's with Diamond or with whoever, right? And that thought process has to be the patience. And so us talking like this, and I've asked you to be patient with me. I've tested you on some things, because it's just the way the nature of the beast sometimes works. But children are going to be a little bit more pushing the buttons, but you're bringing it. And I absolutely agree with you. You didn't have it beforehand, and I see it, because you had anxiety when I first met you. Huge anxiety radiating off you, and you would just keep it barreled in. And I would always question, are you like just this quiet? Are you this patient? Are you this most stoic all the time? And you're like, no, I'm like a freaking shaky as shit inside, because you covered it well. And now you're like, I'm not covering it well, I'm actually changing it. I'm going to be this calm person. I could sit right there, probably cry for 2 hours, and you would probably sit there, and I'd be like, I can't do it. But you would just sit there with tissues. When you're ready, I'll be there for you. That's kind of where I can see you now. What, a year and a half ago when I first met you? 2 years ago, I probably would not have seen that. I think you'd probably be going, oh my God, what the fuck do I do? Right? Get me out of here. So you have changed. I've noticed it. It's an energy that you're giving off as well. Good work.
Thank you.
Yeah.
God, her family is aggravating though. Have I told you about how her family calls her fat, like, all the time? And she's absolutely not.
Let me tell you, I think that's a new, I don't know what it is, a new nickname in like that culture, because I just met 2 other people last week that I asked, oh, so do you, because I can't say their name. I said, do you have nicknames? And they said, oh, they call us this because that's what we are. Like, wait, what? They call you fat? That's your nickname? Yeah, I'm chunky and this one's fat. How does that make you feel? I don't know. Do you want that nickname? They're like, no. I was like, can we choose a different one, please?
It's not like a nickname, though.
It's not.
It's
a dig.
Yeah.
Isn't it? That's exactly what I think it is.
They're not calling her that, like, as a name or anything.
They're calling her, like, because we physiologically think you're fat.
Yeah, they're specifically telling her,
Character.
You're fat, you're overweight, you are obese. They say every single one of those words. Like, full description. And she's not. She's like 130 pounds at 5 foot. She's not fat in any way. But it's getting to her.
Of course it would be. How can it not?
She thinks she is.
Your family is supposed to
and
judge
it's all
you with
of them.
it.
It's every single one of them telling her she's fat every day. I can hear them on the phone telling her she's fat.
Is she eating at the time that they say that?
Sometimes. And
that's even worse.
And she
because then you want to hide it. You don't want to eat, or you're going to get anorexia.
She
or something.
doesn't eat most days. Well, she actually doesn't.
She needs. Have you thought about getting her some resources on the other side? See this.
That should just piss me off. Like, that's your daughter, or your brother, your sister.
Yeah.
What? And you over here calling her fat?
Yeah.
And she's not, like, at all? Her mom, God damn. But, that shit pissed me off, too, because her brother just learned that I've been paying for food and sending it to her house and all that when she's hungry. Like,
Are they monitoring her food?
No. But they have cameras so they can see when it comes in.
That's like monitoring her food.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
But her brother saw that I'd sent her food the other day, and I can hear him on the phone while she's eating it, calling her obese. Like, I just spent my money to hear you call my girl fat?
Well, it wouldn't matter telling anyone. Well, yeah, I could see that anger right there. No wonder that's when you probably should throw your freaking door through the wall. But Or her face.
Yes.
Oh my.
God damn, that shit makes me so mad.
My concern, I'm really. You want to make sure your partner gets defeated, and it hurts when you hear somebody devalue them when you value her more than anything, like the diamond that she is, her name, right?
I think she has some sort of eating disorder too.
Well, I've got to hide my food because I get picked on.
Because she'll eat and then she feels like she has to throw up.
It's probably a physiological psychosomatic because she's being coached.
Yeah.
You just put that in your body. But that doesn't make you fat. Food doesn't make you fat.
Yeah. But
stress makes you fat.
That shit makes me so mad.
I can see that. Because you love her and you can't help her. You're fucking stuck.
Yeah.
Does she get any help? Does she talk to anybody?
She doesn't talk to anybody.
She's a senior though, isn't she? She's almost out of there. What's she gonna do after she graduates this year?
I don't know. There's a couple of things. She's between either going to college somewhere or going into the military or something.
Then get to college from that. She can do that. 4 years, get her college money and pay for college so she doesn't have to be under somebody else's thumb.
Yeah. And if she's going into the military though and getting like into the part where she's deployed away from me, I'm not.
Well, I don't know if they do those. There's some that you can do desk ones. I don't think we're in any war right now. Oh, Biden stay in. I don't know. Let's not get into politics.
They still get deployed places though.
Yeah, but you can take your family with you. A lot of places.
I can't go with her. I have to stay here. I have to graduate.
Yeah, you do.
So you can hear he's got this very deep voice, and he is so young. I mean, he looks so old, so much older than he is, but developmentally, he's still young. So he's still going through academics, but maturity-wise, as we've been working, I've been working with him and his family for about a year and a half. A lot of it was they wanted him to be who they wanted him to be, and they were judging him all the way. So him getting in a relationship with somebody where their family is judging them that nothing they do is proper or right. So it's like a catastrophe. You're damned if you do, if you're damned if you don't. There's no correct answer. They're always going to find a criticism within what you're doing. Was kind of what our bridge was when I was working with that family, is to step back a little bit and let him design himself. Because developmentally, we copycat our family or people that we potentially may want that relationship with. We want to be that, or we want that personality. So we copycat it. It's called unconscious copying or mirroring. Mirror neurons, not as much, because this is something that you're testing out. A lot of our youths do that. And of course, enmeshed couples will start copying each other and become the same as the other partner, which gives you no individual identity. So we've been processing, if you could tell, he was talking about how, this identity that he had learned from his family systemic, and how we have bridged to give him some more autonomy within his family. Let him decide himself. Not everything is the wrong. Neither one of the parents were bad either. And them viewing, I don't want him to turn out like me, just didn't make sense to me, because I thought you were wonderful people. Of course you want them to turn out. You just don't want them to fall on some things. You want them to learn a lesson so they don't have to experience it themselves. That's different. That's not turning out like you. That's learning from you. And so that's what our trek was. And so we're hoping we can do the same with this next family. Thank you for watching. And again, subscribe, and we'll look into next week. So this week was all about relationships.